Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Walk the ball.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads Live, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, and as you can see, we have a full house tonight. Blake Williams, Matthew Moreno, Anthony Witrado, all joining us. We are going to talk a little bit of baseball here, a little bit of Blake Snell, a little bit of outrage, and then we're going to do some fun stuff around Thanksgiving food. We're bringing back an old bit of a food draft, four-person style, so it's going to be fun. I've also got 10 Dodgers as Thanksgiving food item comps to run by the guys, and they can tell me how much they hate each of these. I'm pretty proud of a couple of them. I think some of them are going to piss people off, but that's just the nature of this. Gentlemen, it's good to be here. Thanks to everybody joining us live on YouTube, live on Twitter, live on Facebook. We appreciate you. But let's start with the news of the day. Anthony and I were live when this happened. Matt jumped on with us. Blake jumped on after I was off. So let's talk, Blake. I'll come to you first. Blake Snell. The news kind of as the report has come out of exactly what his contract looks like. I'm sure you have seen, Blake. There are some people on social media that are not very happy about this Blake Snell contract and how much the old cheating Dodgers, are sneaking one past old Rob Manfred. And he doesn't even realize it, Blake. So are the Dodgers cheating, Blake? Does something need to happen to this team?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible how they keep cheating by following the rules exactly as they're laid out in the collective bargaining agreement between the MLB Players Association and the owners. Like, just terrible stuff going on there. It's something that a lot of teams have done for a very long time, especially with star players. But, it's highlighted right now because the Dodgers finally won the World Series that people didn't want to see them win, and they have a very stacked roster, and now it's a huge talking point among fans who don't fully understand the whole CBA and all the rules behind it. And it's been a lot of fun seeing the outrage. I'm kind of enjoying it a bit more because last year at this time it's like it doesn't matter if the Dodgers sign Ohtani, they're going to lose in the first round. And now this year it's they're ruining baseball by signing Blake Snell and deferring $60 million, which every superstar contract pretty much has money deferred in it already. So it's been a lot of fun to see that outrage.
Matt, I think you need to come to the people's defenses. It sounds like Blake is saying everybody on Twitter doesn't have a firm grasp of the collective bargaining agreement, and that can't possibly be right. John0724 surely understands deferred money and salaries and signing bonuses, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I don't know how the Dodgers have gotten away with everything they've been doing, just pulling the wool over MLB's eyes, as the old saying goes. But yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I know Blake hit a lot of it on the nose. I know Anthony and Jeff, you guys have all been pretty active on social media, kind of addressing different things. And I don't really have much to add. I think you guys have it all covered so I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to say Blake ruined our show tonight by not wearing some shade of blue. Yeah. I'm in navy. Anthony, Jeff, you guys are in blue. Blake and his, the hat's so, but you got the Boston green shirt on. So maybe we'll need a wardrobe change. Yeah, maybe cover yourself. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah. Blake saved it. But yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, this isn't anything new. And I know you guys are going to all get into it. And I think Blake makes a great point of it's all fun and games when the Dodgers aren't winning the World Series, but they go, they mess around and win an improbable World Series at that with their lack of starting pitching. And now everybody's losing their minds.
Yeah, Anthony, you made a point right before we came on. Contrary to popular belief, the Dodgers are not the only team that have deferred money on their books. Yes, Shohei Ohtani is the outlier of all outliers, including in the way his contract is structured. But for a Snell deal that I believe has something like 32 or 33% of the money deferred, this is actually a pretty normal number.
Yeah, I mean, this is in line with sort of, kind of the going deferred money rate. Like, there's look, the Dodgers just piss people off, right? They're that organization in baseball. It used to be the Yankees, now it's the Dodgers. And so they're going to, they're going to cry no matter what. But I think you got to, if you're going to pull cards like that, you have to have some receipts and you have to know a little bit, just a little tiny bit of history, like very recent history. Because they're crying about how the Dodgers are doing this. One, that situation is open to all major league teams. Two, all major league teams ownership or ownership groups are billionaires.
Yeah.
And the Oakland A's could afford Blake Snell if they wanted to.
Yeah. Sacramento.
could've-
That's a Sacramento A's to you, Anthony.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. You know what I mean? But they all can do this, and they act like it's only the Dodgers because somehow they hit the lottery and they're the only team that can afford players like this. They're not. All
Yeah.
9 other teams can as well. The other thing is that deferred money in the recent past has been, abundant. Like the Cardinals did it with, the Rockies did it with Arenado. Then the Cardinals took that on, and then Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer did it with the Nationals. The Red Sox have done it with Chris Sale. I think they did it with Devers too. There's just superstar after superstar after superstar has deferred money, not all at the level of Shohei Ohtani, but that's also a personal choice. The Dodgers did not talk him into doing that. Ohtani said, let's do this kind of deal, offered it to other teams. The Giants said yes. He just said no to them, which
Love that.
you could blame him. And so
that's on the day they announced that Brandon Crawford's going to be honored, Anthony. How dare you disrespect such a historic franchise for who's, honoring Brandon Crawford, legendary thing. That feels uncalled for today.
Who knows? They may still be paying Brandon Crawford. That deferment, I'm not sure where that sits, but
Fabian Ardaya came on our show and basically said when the Dodgers meet with guys, they give them multiple options. Hey, do you want the most amount of money, but it's going to have to be deferred? Or do you want less money and you get it over the course of the contract? Or do you want a number that's like over 3 years? Every single team basically does some version of that, I would imagine. And if you're some of these players, like a guy like Blake Snell, part of the incentive to him is he lives in Washington. And so if he's collecting these checks in Washington after his playing days are over, guess what? That money's coming income tax free because he's a Washington resident and there's no income tax. That's why he got a huge signing bonus, because he didn't have to pay their income tax on that as a resident of a state that doesn't have it, right? There's speculation that Ohtani, that's part of the reason he did his deal, is so that he doesn't have to pay California income taxes on all that money. But the point I think that we're all trying to make, and Anthony, you're hammering home, is that this isn't new. Yes, Ohtani is the most famous case. And yes, the Dodgers are sort of the team that is known for this because of all the stereotypes and sort of what that comes with being the Dodgers. But the point to make is people are mad, and it is what it is. We've got some super chats.
They're only known for it because of Ohtani.
Yeah.
No one said a word when Freeman and Betts signed those deals.
Yeah. Bobby Bonilla is the most famous example, and that was like 30 years ago. So it's ironic that we're still talking about it.
Sorry, not to cut you guys. The other thing too, Anthony brought up Nolan Arenado. The Rocky, it's a different case because it was in a trade, but let's look back at that trade the Rockies did with not only did they get completely hosed in terms of players, and as Daniel would say, no disrespect to the guys that the Rockies got from St. Louis, but they paid Arenado's contract down in that deal too. So if the owner had money to do something like to lose a trade on paper and pay the money to do it, what are we arguing about here?
Yeah, well, how are they going to pay Chris Bryant, Matt, if they didn't open up some of that money?
Yeah. Well, Jeff, see, now you started me down my favorite Chris Bryant highlight, and that's his introductory press conference with the Rockies and saying he's never been part of a sub 500 team in his life, and he intended to keep that streak alive. And I remember tweeting from the Dodger Blue account, buddy, you just signed with the Rockies. Have you looked at their history recently? Yeah.
Apparently playing in the National League did not educate Chris Bryant as far as what he was signing up for. A couple super chats here. Godfrey says, love all the haters. Yes. Like Blake said, inject it into the veins. All these people that are whining and crying, because as Blake said, none of these people were complaining when they said, oh, the Dodgers are going to lose in the first round anyways a year ago. And now it's just, they don't have that to say. So they're just mad, Anthony.
Yeah. Yes. The funniest hater of all in all of this, the absolute, just most hilarious hater of all are the Angel haters.
I love it.
Because they're so salty that the Dodgers landed Shohei and then they won with him in year one. They're 1-for-1 and they were 0-for-6. And it's hard to be a hater like that. You really got to dig deep. You got to do some mental gymnastics in your own mind when you look in the mirror to be a hater of the Dodgers when your own organization did not even bother to take a swing at Ohtani when he was a free agent. And you're mad at other teams for signing him, bro.
Chaos. Chaos.
That's not the one.
Zenji says, feeling salty today after hearing all the complaining. No one wanted Snell less than 10 months ago. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Blake, this is kind of an interesting thing that as bad as it looked for Blake Snell a year ago when he signed a 1-year, $31 million deal coming with a qualifying offer and the penalties that came with it. Now, if you kind of rewind the tape, he basically signed a 6-year, $215 million deal, included all money guaranteed dating back to last year. Things have worked out pretty well for Blake Snell.
Yeah, I think the funny part here is too, some of his contract is deferred by the Giants from that 1-year deal he signed. So little tidbit there, but yeah, I mean, I think last year Boris kind of overplayed Snell's market a bit, and this year he proved like again he's still an ace, really good. And then the Dodgers had their need, so they were willing to strike. I think we've seen a lot more teams kind of at least come out and say they're going to be more willing to spend. Like the Red Sox weren't spending it all last year, and this offseason it's they want Soto and 2 starting pitchers. So I think that played into it. I mean, every team needs starting pitching. The qualifying offer not being attached to him this year probably helped a bit there too. I don't think it was about teams not wanting him last year. I think he was just kind of looking to build off his Cy Young season with like a huge contract, and he just kind of missed out on it.
He got offered 9 figures.
Well, and Boris has made the point
they
that
turned it down.
Some of the regional network uncertainty probably hurt his case. And I think there's some truth to that as well, that there were some teams that didn't necessarily have as extensive of like future financials necessarily. And so there might be a little bit more stability now than there was. Godfrey says, Andrew Friedman has been awesome with the Dodgers. Yes, safe to say. And he is not done yet, Godfrey, which is the good news. Richard with the super chat. The reaction from social media and other national baseball personalities has been entertaining. Remind them that it's bad for baseball for their amateur teams not investing that money. Say no to Soto. Thank you, Richard. It wouldn't have been a DodgerHead show, Richard, without you leaving us a super chat reminding us how you feel about Juan Soto. But look, you are right about the problem. The problem is not the Dodgers spending too much money. It is teams like the Athletics and the Pirates and teams like that just refuse to spend the money that they have and are making hand over fist just by being major league franchises. So totally agree with you on that one, Richard. And it's entertaining to say the least. So
yeah, I knew this was eventually going to be a fall winter soapbox for me. And I'll tease it here. We don't need to get into it, but like, again, all 29 other teams could have afforded all of the players that the Dodgers have.
Yeah,
maybe not all of them. They do have an abundance now of these kinds of contracts. So maybe not all of them, but like they got Mookie, Freddie, Shohei, Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow,
Will Smith, sort of.
Okay, Will Smith, fine.
I'm just thinking guys that have signed big numbers.
So let's say 7 guys. A team like the Brewers, who by the way have a ton of deferred money on their books, probably could have afforded 3 to 4 of those guys.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of how much they want to actually pocket, because they also get revenue sharing from teams like the Dodgers. So it's about how much do they want to pocket versus how much they want to put onto the books, into the payroll, onto the field.
Yeah.
The Brewers are still playing Ryan Braun.
I love it. Speaking of guys that we all love, speaking of controversy, Ryan Braun, there it is. Godfrey says, I know you guys have mentioned this before, but ownership has to get all the credit for investing back to the team, not just players, but stadium. It's true. And again, somebody pointed out, like the Dodgers are making like $350 million a year, pre like operating expenses, basically. So they're doing just fine. This isn't a humanitarian organization that's spending money, but still they theoretically didn't have to do that. They could just run this the way that a lot of other teams are choosing to run it and just pocket the cash. But kudos to ownership. I think it's a great point. And then we've got Beltran. I feel like he explained to me how to pronounce this, and I said it was Beltran, and that was wrong. So I apologize. But 2-Pete incoming, Dodgers for life. 2-Pete incoming. Absolutely. Here's the plan for tonight. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. You all know this. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to have a conversation about Thanksgiving. And if you've been around the show and you've seen me host some of this stuff before, I love drafts of all kinds, drafts of anything. And so we're going to have a Thanksgiving food draft. Blake is a veteran of this exercise. You can go back to see pretty unanimously in the comments, Scott finished third in a 3-person draft between myself, Blake, and Scott. But the plan for tonight is we're going to do a 4-person draft of Thanksgiving foods. And there's a couple rules. One is by the end of 4 rounds, everybody has to end up with an entree, 2 sides, and a dessert. Okay. Now, I already know what a couple of Blake's items are going to be. They're not going to be quote unquote traditional Thanksgiving items. And we'll just allow the people to decide how they feel about that when they vote on the winner of these things.
Is
mean
Panda
Matt?
Orange Chicken a choice?
What's that?
Is Panda Orange Chicken on the list?
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I'll hold. I know one of the things Blake took 2 years ago, so we'll see. And look, and part of this is the beauty of Thanksgiving is everybody celebrates it differently. So as long as we're all on the honor system that this is some sort of item that has been consumed at a Thanksgiving we've been a part of, I'm good with it. So there's a little strategy because we're doing a 4-person snake draft. We randomized it. Anthony's first, then Blake, then Matt, then me. So you only get 1 entree, 1 dessert, 2 sides. And so if you're picking 4th on desserts, you can't take any of the 3 above. I'll be the judge as far as splitting hairs on is this an acceptable different item than the other. The one caveat I'll say is on entrees. If you want to pick turkey and pick turkey prepared different ways, that's fine. So fried turkey versus baked turkey versus barbecue turkey, whatever. Because entrees is the one category where I think getting to 4 could potentially be challenging unless, like I said, some people are going to get creative here. I already know it. So that's the plan. Again, 1 entree, 2 sides, 1 dessert. Anthony, you get first choice. You can go in any direction you could possibly choose right now. The floor is yours, my friend.
All right. And you said the turkey's not just universal, right? You can pick a specific kind.
You can pick a specific kind, and then that way of preparing turkey is no longer on the table for anybody else.
Okay. All right, cool. Because I think one of my sides no one's going to pick. So
okay. You can save that to the end. There's no order. You can go dessert first. You could go entree first, but it's a snake. So you're picking once now, and then you're not picking again till 8th. Keep that in mind.
All right. Well, I wasn't sure a couple hours ago if I was going to be able to make this show tonight because I was prepping 4 turkeys to start cooking at some point.
We got picture proof, folks, by the way.
Yes, I sent pictures. So I am going to go with a brined smoked turkey.
Okay.
That's my number 1 pick. And I am a turkey guy. Like I like turkey in the summertime. So like, for me, like I don't think turkey's necessarily an overrated entree. I really do like it, and I like cooking it and prepping it and stuff. So like, get a little cocktail in my hand and I go to work for a while.
Okay. So we're going with the smoked turkey. First item off the board. Blake, you're up second here. You could go entree, you could go dessert, you could go sides. You're up.
Anthony, I took turkey in the first draft we did with my first pick, and I got ridiculed for it by everyone else because like they were saying it's boring and plain and everything. So this year I'm waiting for turkey to fall on my board a bit.
There you go.
I was thinking of fielding a trade call with Matt instead of taking the dish he wants, just to troll him a bit here because I know he's definitely going off the board. But I think I'm going to take the top one on my list and go with candied yams.
Now, okay, so this is a key moment here. You could classify that I think that could go side, or you could classify it as a dessert. So I'll let you choose which of those categories. You're going side. Candied yam as a side. Okay. All right. Side number 1 off the board. Matt, the floor is yours. We got smoked turkey and candied yams off the board.
Oh, so I'm building my own like Thanksgiving dinner. Like I'm not worried about what you guys are going to say. I'm glad
it's going to get voted on at the end, and I can tell you Scott got crushed in the comments, but you can handle it. You've got.
I have no problem with that. I have absolutely no problem. So I guess now the question is, do I go? I'll go entree just in case Blake does try to get funny at some point. And it's going to be fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh my God.
See, I don't know why Jeff was like criticizing what my picks were going to be when we all knew what Matt was going to take here.
I've said it before. That's my Thanksgiving dinner. Like, fortunately, courtesy of my wife who makes it for me and is kind enough to take the time to do that in between some of the other cooking she does.
Is chicken included in that?
No.
Good, because we got I'm trying to make a chart here to post for the people, and the more words involved, the smaller the text it's going to get. So we'll stick with fettuccine Alfredo.
There we go.
I'm number 1 item on my board, still here. Easy apple pie for dessert. It's not even close. It's the best item here. I've already won the whole draft. So we're going apple pie first. I feel strongly about an entree, but I also know that it's just me and Blake left, and I don't think he's touching the entree that I want. So I think I can hold that one for a little bit. The question is, so I'm gonna go sides, and I'm gonna go mashed potatoes and gravy is gonna be my first choice for a side. So I'm taking apple pie, and then give me mashed potatoes and gravy for my first side. So we're going back to you, Matt. Mashed potatoes and gravy off the board, as well as apple pie.
I'll do a side as well, and it's going to be a wedge salad.
This is amazing. I cannot wait for the comments that we get on this.
I mean, this isn't even a contest anymore about.
I know. I'm smoking all of you guys. Although Anthony, your turkey sounds interesting. I would be open to trying that. But the rest of Thanksgiving food.
Okay. It's got the Olive Garden menu building here.
Yeah. Matt actually does. It's actually
he's going to draft breadsticks next.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, breadsticks. Okay, Blake, back to you. So we've got three sides off the board.
Like, I'm rushing to the podium here to take my pick. We're getting stuffing right here.
Oh, gosh, please take it off the board. No, there's no part of me that was going to touch stuffing. I've got a top 9 on sides. Don't even need 9. Only needed 8. Stuffing ain't in the top 9. So happy to give that one to you. Both sides claimed by Blake. We're back to you, Anthony.
All right.
Do you have like a particular stuffing, or are you just like whatever run-of-the-mill stuffing you're good with?
Like, I think it's the cornbread stuffing. Usually,
yeah. Good choice.
I'm not as I typically don't like stuffing, but that sounds intriguing to me, Blake.
Okay.
I've never attempted to taste that. I don't think I've ever even heard of it for some reason, but I'm a huge cornbread fan, so that intrigues me.
You need 2 sides here, Anthony, and it's your turn, and you got back-to-back picks. You need 2 sides and then eventually a dessert. So whatever order you want to tackle those.
Yeah. I am going to go with the dessert.
Okay.
And it's a traditional one. It's not everyone's favorite, but ever since I was a kid, it's been fire for me. I open an entire thing of Cool Whip, dump it on there, and I'll take my pumpkin pie late at night. That's when I start watching Christmas Vacation. It's on. I like it. I like pumpkin pie. I'm with it.
All right. Pumpkin pie off the board. You've got one more pick here, Anthony, before we wrap back around.
Okay. I'm going to go with my first side here.
Yeah.
And it is going to be, I think my young woman Kira is going to like this one, because I'm going to go with King Hawaiian rolls.
King's Hawaiian rolls. Great choice. Okay. So Hawaiian rolls off the board, which makes me feel great, because the direction Matt is going, I think my second side is not going anywhere based on the fact that it belongs on a Thanksgiving table here. So Anthony's got smoked turkey, Hawaiian rolls, and pumpkin pie thus far in the conversation. Hawaiian rolls, I'm going to be honest, Anthony. That's a strong pick right there. It's a strong pick. So, Blake, we're back to you. You can either take your entree or your dessert.
Can I do pumpkin pie with ice cream on it?
No. Pumpkin pie's off the board. There's some other pumpkin flavored things that I think that were potentially on my list.
Pumpkin pie cheesecake.
Pumpkin cheesecake. That's a decent choice. I don't like pumpkin flavored anything, but if I got stuck, I was just going to take cheesecake. So pumpkin cheesecake off the board for Blake. Matt, which brings us back to you. You've got all the desserts are claimed, so you can wait on dessert if you want to grab your second side. But again, based on your board, I think you're like the Raiders in the NFL draft. You've got your board is made up of different players than everybody else's, so no need to rush this one.
Yeah, I was not when you sent the list.
I want to pause real quick. Does somebody in the chat just guess what you think Matt's next item? Again, we're doing a Thanksgiving draft.
No one's going to guess it.
Fettuccine Alfredo and wedge salad. Blake, do you want to take a shot here at what he's going next?
If it's not garlic bread, it's a huge upset here, but it doesn't seem like he's taking that. So
I hope
it's going to be orange chicken Italian. From Panda.
Orange chicken as a side. Yeah, he wants just the Panda Express chow mein
as a side.
Matt,
Blake was close. It's not garlic bread, but there is I don't know, like Northwoods Inn or Claremon's. Are anybody familiar with that restaurant? Like it's a chain. They have a few locations, so it's not like full blown chain. But anyway, they have like a cheese spread that you put on sourdough bread, so then it becomes like a cheese bread. So that would be my other side, is cheese bread. Garlic bread would also suffice, though, if I didn't have time to go pick that up. So just any sort of bread.
Matt reminds me of the movie Big Daddy, when he takes the kid into McDonald's and he's like, "What do you want?" It's like lasagna. Like, but they don't have lasagna. What else do you want? Spaghetti.
It's amazing.
I'm
I
glad
can't
to
believe
see
this.
my guy Bob Nightingale, Northwoods Inn. Him and I, Bob. Let's have some off-season dinners there. Talk Dodgers.
I'm literally going to walk away with my top 2 sides, my top entree, and my top dessert in this draft. It's fantastic.
I've
So
had
you are
my number one choices through and through
You are.
so far. This draft
That's
is
true.
going great for me. I have not needed to go off target at all.
The craziest thing is that this item has lasted this long. That mac and cheese is still sitting on the board here in whatever in the bottom of the 3rd round is an absolute travesty. So mac and cheese is going to be my second side, and then the entree that's the correct entree at Thanksgiving. And some people are going to know I'm right, and other people are going to be wrong about their opinion. I want a honey baked ham on the table. No turkey for me. Honey baked ham on the table. So I've got ham, mashed potatoes and gravy, mac and cheese, and apple pie. I feel great, guys. I feel great.
That's
A+
solid.
draft.
I'm not mad at this, Jeff. I would eat at your house.
That's like my
Fettuccine.
Christmas meal. We
Yeah.
do that like pretty much exactly for Christmas, and then turkey for
There
Thanksgiving.
is quite a bit of overlap between Thanksgiving and like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese are 2 sides that pretty much exist year round. So that's what I've got. We're back to Matt for dessert, and chocolate chip cookies. What do you want here, Matt?
That's not a bad choice, actually. I hadn't thought about that. The problem is I'm not a huge dessert guy, and so like by the time I finished my fettuccine and salad and bread, I'm not really going for dessert, to be honest with you.
You want some Jello? Somebody suggested maybe Matt wants the Jello with fruit in it.
Jello. No Jello.
With
Chocolate
fruit in
chip
it.
cookies are a good choice. So either that or, ironically, my dinner did not come from here, but Cheesecake Factory has a good Snickers cheesecake, or not a s'mores cheesecake. I apologize. I think they do have a
That
Snickers
one's
one,
good.
but
That is very good.
they have a s'mores one, so I'll do that.
S'mores cheesecake. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We got it on the board. So Matt is in with the most unique Thanksgiving spread that you'll ever see. Fettuccine Alfredo, wedge salad, cheese bread, and s'mores cheesecake for Matt.
I will say, like,
the wedge salad's hilarious.
It's the best of both worlds because I get that stuff, and so I have my nice dinner. My wife, her family, they get the tradition. They do the traditional Thanksgiving stuff, so everybody's happy. It's a win-win for everybody. I'm not having to sit through eating some turkey, even though I don't love it. Get a little bit of fettuccine. I will eat like turkey sliders the next day, but if I'm putting together a dinner,
Leftover turkey, split a Hawaiian roll, drop it in there.
If we got desperate, my entree was just going to be turkey sandwiches and just give me the roll with a little bit of mashed potatoes, a little bit of gravy, and a little bit of turkey, and throw that in between some bread. So that was almost my move, Anthony. So okay, Blake, you are up with your entree. It sounds like some form of turkey is headed our way, and then Anthony's got side number 2. So hit us with it, Blake.
So I do love turkey. Big fan of turkey, but I'm gonna go with tamales.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna go with.
Yeah.
good choice.
Nice.
Okay, so tamales off the board. So there we go. We didn't even need to get too creative with the turkey because Anthony's the only one having turkey at his Thanksgiving, it appears. So, all right, Anthony, last one. You've got side number 2.
Side number 2 for me is going to be esquites.
Okay.
Now, if people don't know what esquites is, think of elote, which is like street corn. You can put all the toppings on it, right?
Yeah.
Except you shave it. So essentially, someone comes out with the bowl and it's got all the corn kernels in it with all the kinds of toppings that you would want on, whatever corn stuff you like on it. For me, I typically go butter. You can't go wrong with butter on corn. Cheese, like Mexican cheese. And then depending on the mood, it's always going to be some kind of hot sauce chile. It just depends on my mood, which one it actually is, but it's going to have some kick to it. And that is a go-to side for me for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I got about 20 ears of corn in the kitchen right now that I will be smoking and shaving tomorrow.
Okay. I like it. So our draft is complete. I think I've got the results here. We're going to try and pull these up. Again, we're going to let the people vote on these in the comments, but here we go. Anthony's got smoked turkey, Hawaiian rolls, esquites, and pumpkin pie, which I'll be honest, Anthony, traditional Thanksgiving. That's what a lot of people have in mind for the most part there. Blake's got tamales, candied yams, stuffing, and pumpkin cheesecake. Are those 4 that in the same meal? Like, is that what your table might actually look like tomorrow?
The tamales usually come later because our neighbors make them and then send them over. So like we eat the early Thanksgiving dinner and then like late at night I'll have a tamale. So it's going to be separate, but it's a great draft there. Happy with that one.
Matt's got fettuccine Alfredo, wedge salad, cheese bread, and s'mores cheesecake, which is, to each their own. As
you haven't tried it. Anthony's on board. Anthony can vouch. This isn't some random pick. It is good.
No, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have no issue. I love fettuccine Alfredo. I love a good wedge salad. Love cheese bread. Love cheesecake. So it's just, those weren't on my bingo card for tonight. And then I've got ham, mashed potatoes and gravy, mac and cheese, and apple pie. So we've got. I mean, I can't believe it's as controversial as it is, but we've got Anthony running away with it. We've got Jeff easy sweep. We've got Blake or Anthony, Matt all the way. So I mean, we're gonna have to get a poll up on social media somewhere, and we'll let the people vote on this one. I will say this, Blake, do you remember what Scott's very first pick in the entire draft was last time?
Yeah, the green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole, which did not get selected at any point. So, green bean casserole was on my list, but I had some other things. Let's do like one Thanksgiving thing that is not on this list that you're surprised with. And Anthony, I'll start with you. Is there an item that didn't get drafted that maybe you had on a list or in your mind somewhere that you can't believe would have still been on the board had we kept this thing going?
I mean, there's stuff on here I didn't expect to see.
Oh, sorry. We're covering up Anthony there. If we, I was trying to put some comments up. It just covers Anthony up.
Yeah. I mean, surprised that something didn't make it. Mac and cheese snuck in there later than I thought it was going to. That's for sure.
I'm not even going to ask Matt because number 2 on Matt's category, every category Matt had he didn't even have to come up with the number 2. There were 4 things on his list and none of it was going to get touched. So safe bet there. Blake, anything for you? You're surprised didn't get picked?
Surprised, no, especially because I knew Matt was gonna like ruin this whole draft. But I think like cranberry sauce is very controversial, so I could have seen that going either way.
Oh yeah, that's a traditional thing. I don't eat it, but yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so
I don't think straight cornbread. Cornbread would have been my bread of choice if I had gone with rolls or something. I love cornbread.
I was going to say cornbread too, Jeff, but Blake's stuffing there sort of, I think for me, kind of took it that way.
Totally. Scalloped potatoes, cream corn.
What about garlic mashed potatoes?
Yeah, great. Here for it. I kind of went I went with the gravy. I wanted to sneak the gravy in there as a 2-for-1 kind of a deal inside number 1. So otherwise we would have gotten a little more creative. So there you go. No pecan pie selected. That was one of my items on there. But yeah, so there you go, folks. Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned to the Dodger Blue 1958 page on Twitter, on Instagram, on X, whatever. Facebook, we'll have some polls up. We'll let the people decide who wins. Before we move off of the food thing, this was actually suggested to us on social media after we had come up with the idea of me coming up with food comps. If a Dodger player was a Thanksgiving food, who would they be? So I've got 10 of these, and I'm prepared to be told that these suck. Okay, I just want everybody to know. Lower your expectations for these. I'm going to start off with a good one because this was the one that immediately popped into my head, and I feel decent about this. For turkey, I think Will Smith is the perfect player comp for turkey, and here's why. He's fine. Like, he's fine. He's decent. Like, he's there to stay. You can't do anything about it. Like, even if you don't love turkey, it's Thanksgiving. There's probably going to be turkey on the table, and yet he's fine. He's maybe a little bit better than fine, but it's turkey. It's just there. So that's my first comp. Matt, you don't like that one?
No, because I think of turkey as like the state, like everybody has it. And yes, it's not necessarily great, but it's like what you sort of go for. Like, you don't think of Thanksgiving, in my opinion, without turkey, whether it's fried or smoked. And so because of that, like, turkey
he's got a 10-year contract.
Turkey is Ohtani to me because he's the show. He's who you go see. He's the main
attraction.
He's this. Yes,
that's insulting to Shohei Ohtani. I've got Ohtani is a way better comp than turkey.
If you call Shohei apple pie, I'm clicking off.
Let's see. No, I don't. Oh, yeah. No, you nailed it. He's the GOAT. Ohtani's the GOAT. He's apple pie. He's perfect. There's no notes. No notes on Shohei Ohtani, just like there's no notes on apple pie. It's the perfect food. It's the perfect food. He's the perfect player. There's versatile, hot, cold, ice cream, no ice cream.
We've officially gone off the rails at this
Okay,
point.
so now here's another one.
I thought
Mashed
fettuccine
potato.
was a bad pick.
Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, Mookie Betts. Here's why. The worst version of mashed potatoes still very good. Like, you can't really screw up mashed potatoes all that badly. The worst version of Mookie Betts still very good. Elite mashed potatoes, among the best. Great garlic mashed potatoes. You know, a little bit of gravy maybe on top. So I'm going Mookie Betts, mashed potatoes. Blake, your thoughts?
No thoughts. I was thinking turkey should be Kershaw because it's like the timeless tradition, been around forever.
I got Kershaw's coming. Kershaw's coming. Don't you worry, Blake. Okay,
You're
Anthony.
gonna put
Next
Kershaw's
one
like
for you.
mac and cheese.
Ham. Oh no, stuffing. We got stuffing here. Okay. Now I don't like stuffing. This is more I'm playing off of people who like stuffing. Okay.
Okay.
I think Max Muncy is stuffing. Here's what I mean. The worst version of stuffing stinks. It's bad. Nobody wants it. It's awful. I want nothing to do with it. Now, cornbread stuffing, there's a version of stuffing that is probably very, very good. Some people love stuffing the best. Max Muncy, when he's down bad, it is as bad as it could possibly look. 0 for 24 with 18 strikeouts territory. But when Max Muncy's heating up, the best version of Max Muncy, he's like, you know, sneaking up towards higher on the list than most people think, Anthony. So I got stuffing Max Muncy.
I'm appalled.
You don't like that one?
I like this one.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you.
No, I mean the comment.
The
That
comment.
stuffing's the bullpen.
bullpen.
'Cause It's either really good or really bad.
Yeah, but
I mean,
okay.
I would go with if this is the way you're weighing stuffing, like the worst version is this, the best version is lights out. Like
Range of outcomes.
it's kind of Dave Roberts to me.
No.
Maybe
Not
it's Walker
anymore.
Buehler.
Yeah,
Not
not
anymore.
anymore.
We had October.
Well, I'm saying again, listen to this. Stuffing at its worst. I'm not a stuffing guy either. So stuffing at its worst, it looks terrible. It looks soggy. It looks gross. It's losing you games.
Yeah.
It's costing
Okay.
you W's.
Okay.
And then Jeff's other side of the spectrum was stuffing as a win, stuffing as a winner, stuffing as a leader, stuffing as the sidecar to turkey, or I guess in Jeff's case, apple pie, is Doctober.
Yeah. Okay. Next on my list, Ham. We're going new Dodger edition. Blake Snell as Ham. Here's what I mean. Some people have an issue with it. Some people nitpick on ham. They don't think it belongs on a Thanksgiving table. They've got some issues with it's not turkey, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's very, very good. Ham's very, very good. Blake Snell's very good. The walk rate, injuries. I know there's nitpicks. People are going to poke holes in it. But at the end of the day, you get a good honey baked ham in front of you. You put it on some rolls. You're feeling pretty good about things. So I think that's Blake Snell. Matt, I see a smile on your face. Is it because you like it or you hate it?
No, yeah, you finally got one here.
Okay, good. All right. Well, you're not going to like this next one. Pumpkin pie. Austin Barnes. People try to talk themselves into pumpkin pie. It's just not that good. It's just not that good. And yet, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. It's just right there. It's just right there. There's always going to be pumpkin pie at Costco, and it's not that good. So, you don't like that. I went 0 for 3 on that one. I felt like that was probably going to be the least popular one. So I'll move on. For our guy Scott. Scott's going to hate this one. Green bean casserole. You ready for this?
That's Austin Barnes.
Gavin Lux, green bean casserole. Gavin Lux, green bean casserole. Here's why. It's kind of better than you think.
No,
it's polarizing.
It's
not. Polarizing. Green bean casserole is better than you think. It sounds terrible. I hear green beans. I think disgusting. Good green bean casserole, better than you think. But it's still very polarizing. Gavin Lux. Probably better than some people think, but polarizing. So I got there.
The Dodgers aren't hanging on to green bean casserole when there's a star on the table.
Okay, fair. I got 3 more. This one, Blake, I think you'll like. Rolls. Freddie Freeman. Just a nice. It's never the best thing on the table, but you notice if it's not there, and it's high end. It's good. Or good rolls, very, very good. But it kind of needs to be there, but it's not the star of the show. That's Freddie Freeman.
That sounds like mashed potatoes to me.
See, I love mashed potatoes.
And I would have had Freddie Freeman as mashed potatoes, kind of a staple, a steady presence. He's going to be there, relatively consistent, even, maybe not always the greatest, but still pretty high floor.
This cat also gets MVP votes. Like, rolls aren't getting the MVP
Hawaiian rolls got taken in this draft.
I took Hawaiian rolls.
He was your number one side choice, Anthony.
You need to call him a Hawaiian roll.
Okay, Hawaiian roll. I'm good. I'll adjust my list. Okay, number 2. I got 2 left. Gravy. Clayton Kershaw, no notes. Gravy, fantastic. It's unbelievable. I want it all the time, forever. I want gravy. That's Clayton Kershaw.
That's
last one. Last one. Cornbread. Okay. You're not really ever thinking about cornbread, but when you need it, it's there and it comes through clutch. It's Kike Hernandez. Kike Hernandez is cornbread. So you're not like, oh, that's not the star, but then you eat cornbread and you're like, I'm really thankful I brought cornbread to Thanksgiving. I'm really thankful because on this day, when the lights are the brightest on Thanksgiving and there's cornbread on the table, it's probably coming to play.
You never have to talk anyone into like that cornbread is good.
Yeah, but people are maybe not thinking about it. It's not on the radar. Like you said, cornbread stuffing, you never heard of it.
Summertime, people were like, can we get rid of cornbread?
Yeah, that's crazy. Cornbread's great.
No one's ever saying that about real life cornbread.
But they're not thinking about it. They're not thinking about like in my Thanksgiving tomorrow, somebody's not like, hey, who's bringing cornbread tomorrow? But then someone shows up with cornbread on Thanksgiving Day when the lights are the brightest, and they're like, hey, cornbread is here. Cornbread is here. That's what I got. That's the 10 things I've got. Blake, which one do you hate the most? Is it green bean casserole and Gavin?
I hate all of them, Jeff. There's not a single good one there.
No, you said you liked Max Muncy. Oh no, you like the one. Never mind. You like the person that suggested the bullpen. Yeah. Matt, which one do you hate the least?
I'll say you landed on 3 out of 10.
Hey, 300 hitter. Right. I'm basically a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so if
you're putting him in the Hall of Fame for these takes, Matt.
I mean, we're grading on a different scale.
It's a 300 average with a 300 on base and a 300 slug.
The slash line is
come on. There's a couple extra base hits in there at least.
I didn't necessarily agree with Kike being cornbread, but the way you framed it met my eye test. I like it. You sold it to me. Kershaw is the gravy. I could see that.
You're an old school scout then, Matt, because the numbers don't add up there.
Yeah. And then what was one of the other ones you had that
I feel like Mookie Betts is mashed potatoes. Like the worst version of Mookie Betts is still very, very good, and the highest end of mashed potatoes is incredible. I feel like that's pretty good.
Your case would be better for Kike if it was pumpkin pie because no one thinks about it until fall.
Yeah, and then it's gross though. Then he disappoints.
Blake.
But it's good.
Blake.
No.
I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Anthony, which one do you hate the most?
No one thinks about pumpkin pie until the fall.
And then they think about it negatively, and it's terrible and overrated.
Most people like pumpkin pie.
There's a lot of people in the chat that are up on pumpkin pie.
I know. I wouldn't say I'm in the minority there, but there are people that like some of these items. And
yeah, Blake's getting a ton of love in the chat for that.
There you go. Comp. Who's the beer? Ooh, good question. Just consistent, necessary. That might be.
Who's the beer?
Blake Trinan. Blake Trinan
on Mookie Betts podcast. Walker Bueller's the walking beer.
He is the walking beer. I was gonna say Blake Trinan. Consistent, there when you need him. Gets the job done. Closing out the night, maybe. So sparkling apple cider. Anybody got a sparkling apple cider comp?
One of the young kids.
I was gonna say,
although yeah.
I mean, Miggy Rowe hasn't been picked, so just by default, he's going there somehow.
Yeah, what's Miggy Rowe's
Tommy
like
Edman? Tommy Edman didn't get a comp?
Tommy Edman would be a good one. Tommy Edman is rolls. He could have been rolls. Just blue collar, just nothing flashy, but just substance. I like that one. Edman is rolls would have been a good one. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I got. People can tell me in the chat below how much they hate that. I appreciate everybody for tagging along.
I'm glad we did this live. The chat has been, has had fun with us. I'm a little worried to see what's going to happen in the comments after this is posted and the next day, and if people come across this, but we'll be okay. I know we all got thick skin on this show, so we'll be able to handle it.
Absolutely.
I'm good with my dinner. If I got my dinner tomorrow, I'd be a happy person.
Yeah. I honestly, I can't believe it's even debatable that I won this. It's unbelievable. Mashed potatoes, apple pie, mac and cheese, and ham. Oh, Clutch. Okay, let's get to. We got a couple more of these. Bob Nightingale wants to know, Blake, squid chips. Do squid chips make the list?
They are not going to. No.
Okay, just
Big
outside.
upset here.
Yeah, just outside. Shelly says, "Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all have a great holiday. Maybe the Dodgers will sign Teoscar Hernandez soon." It does feel like, from people that are connected, there's a lot of Teo smoke. So I'll just leave it at that. Let's end with one baseball question. We got this from Christopher. For each of you, assuming all of our current starting pitchers are healthy, who gets the opening day nod? Blake, I'll start with you. In Japan, who's starting for the Dodgers?
Yamamoto, because it's going to be in Japan. He was their ace throughout the playoffs, stepped up. He's got the biggest contract. Like, he's the guy they're giving the ball to.
2 games in Japan? Just like, okay.
Well, so there's 2 exhibition games also, but
okay. Regular. So give me who's game 2. We'll do game 1 and 2 because I'm guessing based on the head nods, we would all take Yamamoto for game 1.
I think I'll go Snell for game 2.
Yeah, I'm skeptical Glasnow's back, so I'll take and Ohtani ain't going to be back either. So give me Snell for game 2 as well, Matt.
Yeah, I agree, and I was going to add the caveat that it's because I don't think Glasnow is going to be available opening day.
Anthony.
Yeah,
those are my guys, maybe.
I think they ease Glasnow in. Ohtani might not make a start until like June. And we're saying current starting pitchers, so Sasaki's off the table.
Yeah, true. Although even if Sasaki got signed, do you think he would start that game potentially, Anthony? I guess in Japan.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be a no-brainer.
I think MLB would probably have something to do with that. They would probably send the Dodgers a little letter that says, if you would please consider this for strictly baseball purposes, of course.
Blake, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess.
Don't be bullied into agreeing, Blake. You can stand up for yourself here.
Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts on it right now. So
fair. There's a lot of hoops to jump through before we get to a point of answering that question. So, all right, folks, we're gonna close out the show there. As Matt said, we appreciate everybody joining us. At one point, we were just going to record this and post it, but we loved having all of you in here. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, to everybody that's watching this live or the next day. We hope you have a good day. We will have content right here on this channel. Blake and Scott will be back tomorrow with some baseball content for you, so make sure to enjoy that. If you missed it, you can check out a bunch of the content we've been putting up. Daniel Starkin and I this morning on Wednesday morning put up a video kind of answering 5 big questions about Blake Snell. Notably, is he really that good? And what about all the walks and injuries? I think those are the 2 most interesting for me to research, so you can check that out as well. That is Blake Williams. That is Matthew Moreno. That is Anthony Witrado. I am Jeff Spiegel. We appreciate you joining us. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. And of course, go Dodgers.